February 19. To save a world. Toja ran, the hounds of hell snapping on his heel, the raw stripes across his back bleeding through his ragged workshirt and scenting the air with his blood. He ran because the punishment for this escape attempt would be worse than for his last, and because submitting meant more than losing his freedom. It meant losing his world, sons and daughters, and grandchildren too. I am too old for this shit, he wheezed, but he didn't let that stop him from trying. If he could at least reach the edge of the property, he might have a chance. A small one, but better than what any of them had if he'd stayed in his cell. Behind him, one of the Lupar howled, and Tojar nearly stopped. Nearly. Light flashed ahead of him, the brief glint of metal, and his footsteps faltered, until he realized he had no other direction to run. Whatever lay ahead, it was trying to stay concealed, which meant it couldn't be his captors, since they had no reason to keep themselves hidden, which meant that whatever or whoever lay ahead wasn't particularly interested in him, but in the beasts pursuing him. He was almost right. The fence was in sight when a thick length of wood caught him across the ankles, bringing him headlong to the ground, where he was grabbed and pulled out of the path of his pursuit. The rapid tattoo of shots and shrill whistle of flechettes followed, and then came silence. A strong set of hands pressed him to the ground, keeping him in place, and then a voice spoke. Herkov, report. The order was given softly, but the voice still chilled him. He recognized those tones, had added their owner to the list of people he'd killed when he'd warned the government of the invasion force. Toja went to turn over, but the hands were joined by a knee pinning one arm to the ground and two boots on his thighs. Report! His only response was to press his face to the grass and soil and remain still. A blaster muzzle pressed to his temple made him gasp. Tell us what is coming. Us. It was promising. Perhaps Carrick had had a reason for throwing him to the wolves. They're sending a fleet, mining boats, Lupar Marines. He drew a shaky breath. Everything they need to smash the world and take every human captive. Clans? Just the one, Star Eaters. When Carrick replied, he was not speaking to Toja. You got that, D? The voice that came back was female, but there was nothing gentle about it. This time, we're going to kick their furry asses so hard their lupine noses bleed into the annals of space. Carrick patted Toja on the shoulder and then wiped the blood off his hand and onto Toja's sleeve. Time we got you to medical, Grandpa. Have to pull the tracker, maybe rewire your implant so we don't get everything you see and hear. So they what? Toja groaned. Carrick might have had a real good reason for throwing him to the wolves, but killing him still wasn't off the cards.